MMA Now, powered by Film On TV Network.
I'm David Kano with MMA Now TV, and right now it's over UFC 200. We're here on location in front of the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, fight capital of the world. And did the expectations rise up to what the fans had? We put a poll out on Twitter and it didn't exactly, but here's a quick rundown of what happened. Miesha Tate versus Amanda Nunes in the main event, which was originally slated to be Diaz-McGregor, which got swapped out to be Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, and it got swapped out again to be Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. It ended up being Miesha Tate and Amanda Nunes. What happened? Amanda Nunes, the underdog coming in, shocked the world. She came in and submitted Miesha Tate in the first round to become the first Brazilian champion in the UFC Women's Bantamweight division. Co-main event, Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt. This is a fight where a lot of people thought that Mark Hunt, including myself, was going to do a walk-off knockout in the first round. That didn't happen. Lesnar was able to take him down the first round. Second round, they both felt each other out. Lesnar wasn't able to take Hunt down. Third round, it was all Lesnar. Lesnar took Hunt down, was able to manhandle him on the ground, and won a decision 29-27. In a fight where afterward he said he doesn't know what's going to be next for him, but he did say, I'm a white boy, and he gave a shout out to the military, and he says for all nationalities to stand together in unity. He didn't mention the violence that's happened this week, but I'm sure it's an ode to that. What's Brock Lesnar going to do next? He has some commitments for the WWE, but with a win over Hunt, who's one of the best heavyweights in the world in MMA, it should set up another fight for Brock Lesnar. A title fight right away, no. But if Brock wants to come back, this proved that he should and could compete with the best in the world. Also on the card, Daniel Cormier versus Anderson Silva. The Spider took this fight in 2 days' notice. He's 41 years old. We didn't know what was going to happen. Was Daniel Cormier just going to have his way? And it seemed like it was going to happen that way. The first two rounds, it was all Daniel Cormier. In the third round, he stood up, Big John McCarthy stood them up several times. And Anderson Silva actually hurt DC with a body kick. Well, in the end, DC was able to edge out a decision in which some fans booed. They weren't happy with the decision of Daniel Cormier playing it safe and taking him to the ground. It has been grueling. It has been emotional for Daniel Cormier. It's something that fans, I'm not sure, are able to grasp. He was doing media even days before the fight was supposed to go on. Media obligations are supposed to be done on Thursday earlier on, and then that should be it. It should be weigh-ins and business as usual, but that wasn't the case for DC. He was doing media all the way up to fight day. Also, we saw Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar in the interim featherweight division for the interim championship to see who would face Conor McGregor. Jose Aldo looked a bit different. He looked bigger. He looked more muscular than he did against Conor McGregor, and he was able to just use his size. He had a size advantage, and Frankie Edgar got frustrated late in the rounds. He wasn't able to do much. His punches didn't have an effect on Jose Aldo, and in the end, Jose Aldo won a decision over Frankie Edgar to become the interim champion. Also on the card was Cain Velasquez against Travis Brown. Cain was supposed to originally fight Fabricio Verdum for the championship fight UFC 196 in March, wasn't able to do so. Travis Brown said if he beat Cain Velasquez, he should get a title fight next. That did not happen. Cain Velasquez went in there first round, took care of business, TKO Travis Brown, and looked really good in beating a much bigger Travis Brown that was coming off a win over Matt Mitrione. What's next for Cain? Should it be a title fight? Should it be him versus the winner of Stipe Miocic versus Alistair Overeem? That's what fight should be next, but we'll see as Cain looked great in his comeback fight, fighting off those injuries. The undercard, the prelims, the main event was Juliana Pena against Cat Zingano. Cat Zingano hadn't fought since Ronda Rousey over a year and a half ago. Cat Zingano looked good in the first round, but then seemed to have some cage rust, which Juliana Pena was able to capitalize on, being able to flip the script and really get the better on the ground. In the end, Juliana Pena edged out Cat Zingano in a decision win, which should propel her up in the UFC Women's Bantamweight division. Also, we had Johnny Hendricks and Kelvin Gastelum. Johnny Hendricks missed weight by a quarter of a pound, forfeited 20% of his first to Kelvin Gastelum, and he did not look good at all in the beginning. Kelvin Gastelum was throwing 1-2s, was connecting at will. Third round, Johnny Hendricks came alive and it was throwing back, but it didn't look like the Johnny Hendricks of old. Is it because of the wars with Robbie Lawler? We don't know, but Kelvin Gastelum definitely moved himself up in the upper echelon of the welterweight division. TJ Dillashaw against Rafael Assunção. This was a rematch, which Assunção won a split decision victory over TJ Dillashaw in a fight where TJ fought against Dominic Cruz, and I actually thought he won the fight against Cruz. Against Rafael Assunção, he wasn't able to really hurt Assunção. Assunção did have a broken nose, but it was really in no danger of being finished. But TJ did look great, won a decision over Assunção, and again, maybe he should be next in line against Dominic Cruz, who's coming off a win over Uriah Faber. We also saw Sage Northcutt against Enrique Marin. Enrique Marin is probably the only person that most fans didn't know. Sage Northcutt getting on the preliminary main card. It was a fight that it went back and forth. Both guys didn't look so well. It was kind of a frustrating fight. Marin looked like he had Sage in some trouble with some arm bars and even a Kimura. Sage was able to fight it off and actually hurt Marin in the third round with some elbows, and Sage Northcutt was able to win a decision over Enrique Marin. On the early UFC Fight Pass, we saw Diego Sanchez and Joe Lozon. They put on a fight that only went on for the first round. Joe Lozon looked good, took out Diego Sanchez by TKO in the first round. Joe Lozon looked really great. Also was Thiago Santos against Gegard Mousasi. I actually thought Thiago Santos would upset Gegard Mousasi. That was my upset of the whole card. It didn't happen. Mousasi looked great. Took out Thiago Santos in the first round. What started out the card was Jim Miller versus Takanori Gomi. Jim Miller was able to just take Gomi down, use his jiu-jitsu, and tapped Takanori Gomi out in a fight that was two names of years past. Takanori Gomi was probably the best lightweight in the world at one point in time, but that was the main card. That's what started out the opening card. Was it a great card? How would we rate this? I would have rated this card a B+. It didn't live up to fans' expectations of being this ginormous card. Sometimes expectations aren't lived up to with a card that was stacked with names. It's just the name of the game. But we're going to be right back at it Monday with more analysis, more daily doses, and we have some more things coming up for you here on MMA Now TV. So that's going to do it from here. We're headed back to Cali. We're here at the T-Mobile Arena, and we'll see you next week on MMA Now.